Sweet Dreams by Marilyn Manson. Intro sounds like this. Nice slides, nice power chords, nice little stretches, and a fun riff to play. So let's start off by making sure you got your tabs in front of you, your PDF file. If you don't, drop me a WhatsApp or send me a message via my YouTube channel and I'll send you a copy somehow. Let's do the riff, focusing on fretting hand now. We're going to start with what looks like a basic C5 power chord, which means fingers 1 and 3 are at frets 3 and 5 on strings 5 and 4. So a whole lot of numbers, make sure you get your numbers and frets and fingers and strings all lined up. Your C5 opening chord looks like that. On the tab, the first thing you see is a double 3, then a 5, then a 3, which means it's going to sound like this. Now for this song, you want all the strings to ring as long as possible to give that nice dissonant, sort of menacing Marilyn Manson tonality that he's got going. So let your notes ring nice and long. And next up, we've got a 6. Now for the 6, that pinky there is going to override what the third finger is doing. And there you can see and hear that 5th frets become the 6th fret as a result of the pinky coming down on the 6th fret. After that, you come back to the 3 on the 5th string and you release the pinky. So one more time slowly, just on the fretting hand, 2 and 3 and 4 and... Now on the original it does use quite a bit of overdrive as well, even though the intro starts with a lighter distortion. So if you've got something like this happening, maybe consider that you got too much distortion. Maybe take your overdrive down a little bit so it's not as noisy, so it's something more like this. Just to create that sort of dark overtone. Now on the picking hand, let's see what your picking hand's doing. I'm trying to keep both left and right hand in view over here so you can see when the pinky comes down to make that 5 or 6 in the tabs. And you can see it's starting from the 5th string onto the 4th string there. I did an upstroke, down, down, up, down. But I'm not too worried about your up and down strokes for this song because it's a very slow song. So if you want to do down strokes the whole way through, this is one of the few times where I'd let you override that and go for what's more comfortable. Slow motion, the first bar. Notice very small strokes, so this will be bad. A, it's too noisy because you're losing control with too much wide movement. So if you're getting too much noise, try and get your palm really close to the string. You can see I'm almost touching the string but not quite, and very small movement. And I'm actually resting my pinky and ring finger actually on the guitar. You can see there's actually touching on the guitar. That helps give me a sense of positioning to make sure I don't strike the wrong strings. First bar's under control. Let's go look at that. The second bar is going to have. Now I've included a bit of a slide for this, which I'll show you now. But you're starting the second bar with the same shape you used for the C5, simply gone up a string and a fret towards the body, frets 4 and 6. This is the equivalent of a G sharp power chord, G sharp 5. And watch the slide. You can see super slow motion, double 4, strike the 6 on the 5th string and slide up. You could do this, but the slide just sounds nicer for this song. And the second half of the second bar, you simply move down to fret number 3 and 5. This is a G power chord, so that was G sharp. I suppose we should actually call it A flat for more correct musical terminology. But there's your G at fret number 3 and 5, and your only a 1 fret slide. So with a G sharp, it's a 2 frets and 1 fret slide over here. And your picking hand's doing pretty much the same thing that you were doing before, just on strings 5 and 6. So I'm not going to focus too much on that right now. But I'm now going to play it the whole way through. Listen and watch the slides, and then after I've played it through twice, then I'm going to focus left and right hand together. But if you want to play it through with, I'm going to count you in. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, and... it simply repeats when you're singing that sweet dreams of. I'm not even going to try and sing like Marilyn Manson. Okay, but let's zoom out and get left and right hand into the picture so we can see how the picking hand changes strings too. Got that same positioning I was talking about earlier. You can see my ring finger and pinky actually lying on the fretboard, on the pick guard, and getting ready on the 5th string. You can see my fretting hands over here ready for the C5, 2 and 3 and 4 and it's basic like that. It's a really cool fun riff to play. It shouldn't be challenging. Get those slides working nice and strong, and it's all going to sound good. Now when they go to that sort of instrumental part, which is after the first verse, I'm going to add on a huge amount of distortion, and you're going to really get a nice sort of almost a grinding sort of old school metal sort of. Just downstrokes the whole way through, nice and heavy handed. Try and get that sort of almost horror music, sort of movie music sort of going, that nice dark heavy sort of strumming. So just downstrokes, no damping, just straight down. But watch for the counting. I'll show you that now after I've showed you where the power chords are. Now the site where I got the tab from actually listed this as G sharp, but it's also A flat, so we're not really meant to have a G sharp and a G, but G sharp is A flat, so don't worry too much about the theory. If you really need to know, drop me a question. Let's play the song. Your G sharp, fret number 4 and 6 on your 6th and 5th strings. Your G is 1 fret back, and the C is 1 fret down. So you'll notice that my hand actually isn't changing shape. There's no sort of that type of movement and that type of movement and that type of movement. It's basically the same shape, simply finding different positions as it goes across the guitar neck. The ring finger, or middle finger rather, sorry, even though here it looks like it's playing something, you can see it's not. I just keep it close for damping purposes if I need it. Okay. Now let's go through the rhythm for that. It's quite an easy rhythm, but there is a quick change on the second bar. So let's focus now on our strumming pattern. I should rather say on the counting of the strumming pattern rather. Your first G sharp is just straight 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, but on the second time through it's going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you'll see my hand move down on the 4th beat. So if I'm doing the second bar only, I'd have this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and then 1 and would be where the C is. So just watch your timing there. It's quite sneaky. Sometimes we leave it out and it still sounds quite cool, but it sounds better with it in. Trust me. I want you and I to take the instrumental part now through. There is a solo for the song, but I don't like teaching the solo because he's got a lot of processor on it. In other words, a lot of special effects going inside the nice studio production. So if you don't have some seriously complex pedals, the notes just tend to sort of lose momentum. So we're doing the chords the whole way through for this. Ready with your G sharp 5? Remember to change on the 4th beat to the G, and then on the 1st beat down to C. Here we go. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then it holds, and after that you're going to go back to your. And if you pick really light, you can actually get quite a nice dissonance out of your distortion sound as well, or you can just take the volume back a little bit over here if you want to get a slightly heavier. Hear the difference? And that's just by adjusting my volume to change the intensity or the amount of distortion. So if you find that you want more distortion, go to your distortion pedal and take your volume down a bit. That one over there. If you've got a Les Paul design or something you're not quite sure, you'll find the volume pedal, I'm sure. Otherwise, drop me a WhatsApp. I'm happy to help. That's pretty much all you need to know for Sweet Dreams by Marilyn Manson. That's the cool riff, nice power chord exercise. Be careful for speeding it up. It's a fun song, so we tend to get carried away. Just keep it slow, keep it heavy, have a lot of fun with it, and have a good week. Thank you.